I think the fan base, the entire student section. I thought the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. I was remiss I'm remiss to not mention for all these years. I thought I knew the words to Mr. Brightside, but obviously I learned something new Saturday night, so it was a pretty cool deal. But seriously, I thought the atmosphere. I mean, that was a big time atmosphere, and can't thank the fans for coming out and supporting the team. Didn't finish the way we wanted to. I thought we were extremely physical all night long. Thought we played really, really hard on defense. Didn't execute as well as we had in the last couple games, but I think our effort and our physicality really was giving Georgia fits, and at the end of the day, ran out of gas. It's so close yet so far away, and we got to continue to get better and better every day. And I thought today's practice was excellent. It was chippy, it was fiery, it was exactly how I wanted to see us respond. So I think they're looking forward to the challenge on Saturday in the Swamp.
Coach, this was kind of the fast start that you've been looking for. What do you think was the key to getting that done?
Yeah, I thought our guys, it's something, again, like I talked about, changed a little bit of how we practiced last week. I think that was part of it. Honestly, probably the atmosphere had something to do with it, too. Again, can't thank the fan base enough. I thought the energy in that stadium Saturday night was electric, and it's hard not to start fast when you can feed off of that. So I think that probably had something to do with it as well, to be honest with you.
Was there a different level of intensity than there had been in previous games, or did it just kind of look that way because you guys were maybe playing so well?
Yeah, I think it kind of probably just looked that way when you look back. I do think. I mean, that was a physical ball game, on both sides of the ball, their offense and our defense. And, it's something that we pride ourselves on. We talk about being the most physical defense in the country. And I do think it, again, probably because of the energy in the stadium, it might have felt that way to the outside looking in. But when you look back on the tape, I think we've played really, really hard and really fast and really physical all year long.
Coach, did the defensive lineman kind of tell you about the pregame mix up with the other players? Did you notice them a little bit more fired up or something?
Uh, you know, I was on the other side of the field when it happened. I doubt that really played a role. I didn't really hear anything after that. You know, we want to represent this university the right way, and at the same time, we're not gonna back down from anybody. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
I know you guys were pretty high on Tyron all summer long, but has he exceeded what you expected, or just what you thought you were getting?
It's kind of. I mean, based off of the spring and fall camp, it's kind of what we thought. You know what I mean? I think he's gotten better and better every week. I think he's getting more comfortable. I think as a play caller, I'm figuring out what he's more comfortable doing as well. So we're able to kind of play off of each other, and I think our relationship is getting much closer. Where he can tell me what he likes and feel comfortable doing that, and vice versa, and try to put him in advantageous situations throughout the game to show his skill set.
Coach, what makes Anthony Richardson and specifically Florida's QB run game so tough to defend?
He's big and he's fast. He, I mean, playing against him last year, he's a big dude. I mean, he's the closest thing probably to Cam Newton, since Cam Newton in college football as far as his size and his speed. I think, excuse me, I think they do a good job schematically. You know, getting him in good situations running the football. I think their scheme fits what he does very nicely.
What are some of the keys to stopping a running quarterback, and what, if anything, can you take from the Auburn game where you're going to have to do that into this week?
Yeah, I think they're probably schematically they're a little bit different, but yeah, I think anytime it feels like every single week we're playing a quarterback that can extend plays with his legs, and obviously his size presents a different challenge. But I feel comfortable with our game plan so far going into it about understanding where he's at and what he likes to do.
Like it seems like his 5 games have been really different. Some games he's running a lot, some kind of staying in the pocket. Is it kind of hard to get a read on what they planned for him?
No, I think Coach Napier does a good job understanding game planning. What I think that's more of a product of the game plan than him specifically. So, I think they ask him to do different things throughout different games based on the opponent or based off of the score.
Coach, going back to Tyrone Hopper, when you get promoted, you become the DC coach, and you see a player like that. Is a player like him who can cover and play the run? Does that kind of make you open up your playbook more because you can do more things, or does that simplify other things for other players since all right, Tyrone can do this and that for me?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as a defensive coordinator and a play caller is trying to find matchups or highlight his skill set. So a guy that can do as much as he can do, the challenge is trying to find enough ways to highlight that skill set because he can do it all, in my opinion. But it makes it fun. It makes it fun, and that's to me that's a big part of my job is making sure we put our best players in the best situation to succeed, and I think we've done a good job of that so far.
Where's his
Where
head
have
at?
you seen him improve the most throughout the season, and what are some of the reasons behind that? How has he managed to achieve that improvement?
I think getting more comfortable with the scheme. I think again in the spring we were very very simple, trying to teach fundamentals and technique, and as we've gotten as we've continued to grow our scheme every week, I think he's gotten more comfortable, and I think that comes with our communication too. And then where's his head at? Do you mean that as far as the Florida game? Yeah, I spoke to him a little bit about it. He said, "Coach, it's a nameless, faceless opponent. That's what you tell us every week." So I'm sure in the back of his mind, just like it's human nature. I'm sure he wants to have a good game, especially against. I'm sure he's close to a lot of the guys still on the team. It would be my assumption, but yeah, I think we've addressed that, and I think he's very level-headed going into the game.
Coach, the defense obviously tested Georgia like no other really had this season. What was working schematically with how you disrupted Stetson Bennett's usual rhythm?
Uh, I mean, some of it was scheme, and some of it's just. I think we have really good players. In my opinion, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way, I don't think Georgia had played a defense like us, leading up into that game. And that's something that we preach to our guys all week. The film doesn't lie, and I thought we were the most physical defense they were going to see at that point. And I think our defensive line and really, whoever was out on the field, we were physically dominant throughout most of the game.
Kind of goes along with we talked to Kirby at the beginning. He kind of mentioned very complimentary of the defense, especially how it played. I mean, what does it mean to you that 5 weeks in you're getting this respect or earning this respect?
It means we need to just continue to get better. To be honest with you, it'll probably feel a lot better when we walk away with a win. But to me, that's a tip of the hat to this defensive staff and the players. They're doing everything that I'm asking them to do. We are multiple. We do a lot. I mean, I could go down the list of the defensive staff. Man, we're plugging holes with, Damian Wilson, who's a freshman. Norwood comes in for the third, fourth quarter. I mean, I think the staff's doing an amazing job, and I think our players are doing an amazing job. I think they've really bought in. I think that they see that if they trust the scheme's going to allow them to make plays. I think towards the end of the game, we probably got a little bit outside ourselves, just being in that situation and trying to do too much. Just, that's what I meant by lack of execution. We kind of, everybody started pressing at the end to make a play, and that's something that we showed them on Sunday. When we really, didn't do our job is when, and you got to tip your hat to Georgia. They got really good players. Like I said, Stetson Bennett is a phenomenal quarterback, and those tight ends, They were who we thought we were, as Dennis Green said. So you got to tip your hat to those guys too.
You mentioned trading Norwood right there. If you don't first him straight this weekend, can you really see stand up or step up in the quarterback?
I think Norwood and I think Marcus Clark. He's really come a long way in a short period of time. He had a really good practice this afternoon, but I think those two will get the lion's share if KD can't go.
We talked a little bit about before the season about Dalen Carnell and the places he can play. He's played almost a little bit everywhere. But how important is that, especially as you kind of have these injuries to kind of fill that with depth with guys like Dalen in multiple spots?
Yeah, I think Dalen is something that we're toying with now with his position flexibility. So he's a weapon to have in that regard, and that could be something that we look forward to as well.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, real quick, how did I know Chad Bailey had the non-contact jersey on today, but just how did he look
He looked good. I think he's progressing. I would say he's probably hopeful, for this Saturday. But no, I think he's progressing. Hopefully, we can get him back. That's the plan. If not, obviously, we have a bye week where we could utilize that. But the plan is to have him back on Saturday.
Chad can't go. How confident are you in guys like Damian Wilson who got thrown into a situation against Georgia that played pretty well?
Yeah, I think when you look at the Auburn game, you look at the Georgia game, the body of work he's put in, I thought Devin Nicholson, I think, gave us 24, 25 snaps. He did a good job. Again, Coach Smith's doing a phenomenal job with those guys and catching them up to speed in a hurry. And it's a credit to those guys, too. I mean, they're working their tail off behind the scenes, making sure that they know what to do when their number's called. So I feel, the experience that Damian's had the last 2 days or 2 games, and then Devin Nicholson and Will Norris is doing some good things. That was a big question mark once we lost Chuck Hicks going into the season. But to see those guys step up and fill that void, my confidence in them is growing significantly based off of what I've seen the last 2 games.